dating outside your decade.
Okay.
I mean, I have friends that I thought would never, like, ever do this. And it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And I think
Women?
they are, women.
Okay.
I think they are surprised that I'm surprised. You know
Are
what I
they
mean?
dating up or down?
They are dating down.
Okay.
Like, so far down that I'm like,
So far down.
so far down, I'm like, does he work? Can he drive?
Does he drive a big wheel?
Like so cougarish almost.
So cougarish. So cougarish. Yeah, it's a real thing.
So I think that, like, I know someone, one of my sorority sisters likes young and young men, some mostly Hispanic, but you know, aside from the race thing, she likes young men. And I always say I think it's because she doesn't have a son. Like, I have a son, so I don't want to date somebody any close to his age.
Right.
But I think that she does that because a lot of men, you know, since we're in our 50s, a lot of guys in our 50s have erectile dysfunction. So, and like, I know menopause has not hit me into the point where I don't want to have sex. So, and a lot of women feel the same way. Like, we're like this, we're on 10. Like, estrogen has dropped, testosterone has raised. So we want it. And a lot of men in their 50s cannot, it's a supply and demand. They just can't supply for the demand. But the men in their 30s, the notion is they could. So I kind of understand why a woman in their 50s would date down. And I don't know if you would call that dating. It's just really a sexual relationship more than just a regular dating romantic relationship. Because in my mind, a man in his 30s couldn't provide emotionally what I would need.
Absolutely not.
Just could not.
And I don't think that, personally, I don't think that I would have anything in common with
somebody in their 30s.
Yeah, I don't even know what our conversation would look like, sound like.
Well, look at this one.
Like,
what do you have to say?
I'm a numbers person.
Okay, that's enough.
See, how did you say, help me? No, I'm a numbers person. So, I mean, if let's look at all of the numbers or all of the categories. If black women are only going to date black men, then at 50, if you're only going to, you're probably going to date people that you run into in and around Chicago. And so within that number is kind of small. So in order to open up the dating pool, dating backwards or forwards is an option. It does give you more options and more choices. Because let's be honest, we probably know, most of the people our age, for the most part.
Because we live in the same city.
We live in the same city. We kind of have the same group of friends. So I think that in order to expand the dating pool, it is an option. Now, it comes with consequences. And it comes with, obviously the virility of young men is a lot greater than that of older men. But within that, my thing with dating somebody younger is that older women have older women wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's exactly right.
An older woman will know that
I'm not attractive though to you all at this age.
Absolutely,
right.
It's attractive to me.
You feed your soul in a way that a 30-year-old woman could not.
It's just stuff that you understand the rules of engagement more. A older woman will not start an argument before it's time for you to go to work. Now, she will table an argument and bring it back once work is over. But a younger woman will be mad because you let her know, hey, baby, I got to go to work. Hold that thought. Right. And she will come down on your job and finish the argument.
Who is Ashley who texts you at 5 o'clock?
I bet you this. So it's those are the sort of things that, you get a lot of what you want. And I mean, definitely, that younger woman is going to have a lot more tools in her sexual toolbox.
Right.
But within that, you get the part where she's busting out your windows. And, an older woman is going to kind of realize that, hold on, you own my insurance. I'm not raising my deductible because of you.
Here's the thing. In chapter 2, though, there are a lot of people that are no longer with their original spouses. They've gotten divorced, they moved on, people have passed away, and sometimes the things that the role that you played in this relationship, back in the day, you want something very different. You know what I mean? Perhaps you were in a relationship where, it was the man, his word went. You know what I mean? He made the money. You just kind of sat back and did what you're supposed to do at home.
Right.
And now he's no longer in your life and you want control. And so I think a lot of women, at least the women that I know, it's not because of ED, but you want to experience something, where you have control, you have say so, and you have more autonomy and more authority when you're dealing with someone who's younger. So I don't know if it necessarily has to just, lend itself to the vitality and the sex drive. Not that that's not a real thing, because it is. I'm not taking that away. But I think it's just not that cut and dry.
But I think it's also affirmation, because there's a younger person that's probably in a little bit better shape than the guys that are your age. And I know for a man, there's a younger, better looking woman, and I'm like, I still got it.
Yeah.
So there's an affirmation part of it, as well as the virility and all of those other things.
A little bit of ego feeding.
You know what?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I was talking to a guy about this last week, and I was asking him, we were talking about dating out of your age range, and I asked him, do you prefer younger women? He was like, I don't really have a preference. He just likes women who are slender and or fit. And he said, unfortunately, a lot of the women our age, because he's 56 like me, he said a lot of the women our age are not those that don't physically embody what he likes in a woman. Okay. They do emotionally and socially and everything else. They fit everything else. They check all the other boxes, but physically, and because he's a fit guy, they don't check that box for him. And the men, because they're visual, he's looking for what he likes.
He needs that stimuli.
That's exactly right. And unfortunately, a lot of people feel like, fit bodies, that we associate fit bodies with youth. But we don't always associate youth with fit bodies, because we know a lot of youth are not really fit because technology, and they're doing this and sitting playing games. No offense to the younger generation, but really, men are visual, that, and they're looking for, right, and when we get to a certain age, menopause, you gain weight with menopause, and then life happens. You have children, you work your jobs, and we're getting to the age now because we go through stages. Our parents, we're taking care of our parents. Parents are passing away, and the gym becomes less and less of a priority. So
I can appreciate his view, though.
Yeah,
I respect what anybody wants for themselves.
Yeah.
But also, you have to look at, it's work to be fit.
It is work.
So it's work to get there.
Is it?
And it's work.
It's fun for us, but
But it's work to stay.
It is. You have to wake up and think, okay, this is my time. Like you and I wake up and we plan like the gym. When I'm on layovers, before I go to my room, I need to go see the fitness center because I need to envision like what my workout is going to be. Everybody doesn't think like that.
But listen to this, because all of this is true and it all has merit. But I'll give you an example, and this is a real life example, but I was younger. So maybe I was in my 30s at this point. The kids were born, and I had a friend, a male friend, and he was, for whatever reason, dating someone who he met at a restaurant. She was the waitress. Barely 18 years old. She looked like a kid. She sounded like a kid, but they were dating. And I remember I would be like, whose little shoes are those? But here's what happened. So in the midst of their relationship, the guy's father passed away kind of suddenly. And he was very close to his father, idolized his dad. And the girl was trying to, make him feel better and empathize with him and said, "Oh, I know what you're going through, man. I remember one time when my mom wouldn't let me go to like this party and I was just feeling like, oh my God, I'm gonna miss out. So I know you're missing your dad." And it was that moment when he looked at her and he was like, what the hell am I doing here? Why am I with you?
Yeah.
Clearly he realized the mentality and the maturity level were so far apart that he had to say, okay.
Yeah, this isn't working for me.
But you also have to see the irony in it, because as a man, everybody wants to have that. A younger man wants to date an older woman, and I mean all of the things that one may have heard. They're true.
Why? Why do they? Is it because they
have more? They have more knowledge. They have more sexual experiences. They're less inhibited. They can take you out to dinner. I mean, it's so many things that are appealing as a younger man. And so as you become an older man, then you have those abilities. You don't need them for those things. You have the sexual experiences. So now you are actually, it goes the other way. You went from, I would love to date a 30-year-old, 40-year-old to, man, I want to date somebody a couple years younger than me, now 5 years younger than me. And for me, that's about as far as I'm going. I'm not dating anybody that's that young, because young women have young problems.
Listen, there was a study.
And they can get pregnant.
That was done. Yes, they can't get pregnant.
And that's
that men die before women.
Yeah.
So women who are married typically live the rest of their lives alone. So this is another reason why I think women are like, you know what, let me find me a younger man, because I won't have to be alone for the rest of my years. And like Kim said earlier, when we get older, it's not like our sex drive disappears or dissipates. We're in like the second peak. And I think a second peak does exist.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that.
I believe it too. And finding a mate who is going to live.
Keep up.
Well, not just keep up, but it's going to be alive. You know what I mean? That you can do things with. You don't have to keep starting over.
I thought you were going somewhere else. Go ahead.
But yeah, he's going to be around for the long haul. He'd have to be younger.
Shut up, Gary.
I didn't say anything. I would never say anything.
But you're right. You're right, though.
But I look at it, again, from the numbers. And, those gaps when we're younger, they become less pronounced, and then they go away altogether at some point. But for me personally, I don't want to date anybody that doesn't have the same kind of set of problems that I do.
Right.
And I couldn't imagine myself going out, because I'm looking at my stuff like,
well, can't even relate to them because they haven't experienced it yet.
Right. I'm like, let me maximize my 401k so I can retire a year earlier.
Right.
And they talking about, man, we're gonna all go to Cancun. Like,
that's all they can think
but
about.
I want to know, you have friends. I know you have got to have friends that are dating younger women. Mm-hmm. And for me, as a woman, I would like to know why they are so attracted to it. What is the drive? I understand that that's not your thing, but if you could help me understand more about the guy, well, please do.
I think that a lot of people, will say, okay, they'll benchmark a problem. This woman did this to me. And then they take that and they extrapolate it over a group of women. They categorize women within a certain age group.
All right.
So then when they do that, they say, okay, I'm going to take the path of least resistance. I'm not going to deal with anybody in that age group. The problem that you're going to have is that no matter who you're with, you're going to have problems. Just different problems, this one versus that one. Going back younger, they just, to me,
you're talking about you again. I'm really trying to understand the guy who wants to date the younger girl.
Because they're trading some part of it.
What is the draw, though? There is something.
There are many draws. One of them can be that, I'm in a different financial situation, so that gives me a measure of control. Some of it is that, this younger woman is going to have less expectations than an older woman. An older woman is going to require that you do certain things. Younger women don't have those same requirements.
They don't say, get my hair done, get my nails done. They don't?
But you could tell them no. You could tell them, you know, you could do different things.
That's little stuff. Like
I mean,
older
well,
women
no
would be like,
expectations is no expectation.
yeah,
I'm
pay
trying to
my
understand
mortgage,
though.
You know, so
But an older woman is going to make you deliver on those things. You can still promise a younger woman.
and I think a younger woman wouldn't want a commitment. Older women are, you know, because we want companionship, would be pressing for that and then marriage.
But,
and maybe that's what older men fear.
But an older woman has also already been tricked. So you can't do that. You have to either put up
We've
or
been
shut.
what?
Tricked.
Tricked?
Yeah, sold the dream, you know, as soon as I
okay.
leave my wife, blah, 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 blah,
okay.
blah,
All right.
whatever it is,
Okay.
once I
Sold
get
the bill
myself
of sale.
together.
Younger women are easier to manipulate.
Exactly. And
Okay.
so older women are like, man, it's been 3 months, actually 89 days. Tomorrow will be the 90th day. I'm going to need you to be on your stuff.
I think we're going to have to bring somebody who is in a relationship with a younger person and have them sit on this couch, because I still feel like it's something that I'm not getting. Like, I still don't clearly understand the draw, because that's not your thing. So I don't know if you can tell me what it is. I want to know.
Well, I know, you know, switching gears a little bit, I know a woman who prefers dating 20 years up. And she is in her 50s, and she likes more established men. And she likes that because of the financial security.
Because they're retired already. And
with a little nest egg, and she likes being the younger thing and being taken care of.
okay, well, that's one way to be the younger thing.
So
That's
she's
exactly
like
right.
cruising the nursing homes. And
So, because, you know, a lot of physicians are retiring and they have a nest egg, and she likes being the young thing.
so I think that bringing in a person that is actually in that situation can kind of speak to or answer some of your questions.
Yeah, because
And
there's
in
a real
my
draw.
opinion,
I
it
just
is
don't know what it
obvious that, and I could be wrong because I'm not a man and I don't identify as one, but I think that men are drawn to youth because of it's a virility thing. They like younger women are fertile, and even though older men are not looking to impregnate, I think there is a pheromone or a hormonal draw to fertility and the youthful bodies, the youthful conversation, because women our age, you know, like you said, we've been beaten down by life, and our conversations are different. So just to have somebody whose conversation is free and free-flowing and easy, and just the babble of it is, I think, sometimes refreshing to older men. And because you're so visual, I think you, men collectively, I think there is something to be said for women who are younger and who have a nice figure, and you have a 25 or 30-year-old woman who has a nice figure, and then you have a 56-year-old woman who has a mom bod. So they are drawn, if you're looking at
I just wonder if it has something to do with, I'm not saying it doesn't, but it has something to do with control and just being able to manipulate someone in the respect of,
probably.
I'm the greatest thing that ever walked the earth, and you're going
I
to
think that
look up to me. And
I think, yes, but I think initially, because men are so visual, initially the draw is, wow, look at the beauty,
I mean, I think that's one draw.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on each person, if you have
as a
low
man-
self-esteem, it might be control.
As a man, you get to a point, or you should get to a point, where you realize that it's just different problems. This group is going to have problems, that group is going to have problems, and it's all what you're prepared to deal with. You know, because I mean, and the problems can be little things, they can be big things, but it's your tolerance level.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me personally, young women, I just don't have a tolerance for that. And a younger woman will risk it all. An older woman is a little bit more calculating, and I need that because sometimes I'll make bad decisions. So I need somebody with wisdom helping me. I don't need the person with me like, press the red button. Let's see what happens.
Let's see if it goes to the
Let's put on my helmet, press the red button and figure it out.
Ready to run?
But that's important because as an older person now, I can't stop and start again.
Right.
So I can't, I cannot mess up my credit. I cannot do certain things. Whereas a younger person, you like, I'm gonna pay them when I pay them, if at all. So it's just it's my risk tolerance is a lot different in my older age than it was in my youth, and that's just my reality.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with all of that. But yeah, I would love to hear somebody's viewpoint who is actually living that life.
Right.